AP Visual Media, it's Let's Go Youngstown, bringing you the city's hottest entertainment. On today's episode, Virginia Holmes. Musical guest, Walter Beasley. And your host, Y. Daniels. It's 6:30 Sunday night. Time to cool out with Let's Go Youngstown.
Hello and welcome to Let's Go Youngstown. Today we are here with Virginia Holmes from VLH Production. Hello, Virginia.
How are you doing, Kwai?
I'm fine.
Good.
What motivates you to do promotions?
I was tired of driving to Cleveland, tired of driving to Pittsburgh, tired of driving to Akron. I thought, why can't we have quality entertainment right here in the Mahoning Valley, right at home?
Right.
You know, there wasn't anywhere I wanted to go. I couldn't find the artist I wanted to see. I was retired, looking for my next life. You know, when I grow up, what I want to be. And this was it.
So now you found this new occupation. What goes into planning an event?
A lot of time.
Where do you start?
I start with my computer. I go to jazzradio.com, I turn it on, I listen to it. I hear an artist that I don't normally hear. I look up to see who that artist is, and I keep a list of those artists. Choose the artists that I like or want to hear, check their tour schedule, find out where they're at in the world or the country, what's going on in their life, and go from there.
How do you make that decision to choose an artist? Like, what's the criteria for performing for VLH Productions?
Their tour schedule is number one priority. Mm-hmm. Then I have to go into finding out whether or not a venue has that date available. It sounds like an easy thing to do, but you're back and forth a lot. They try to route their tours. It makes sense. They're all over the world, all over the country, coast to coast, different time zones. So sometimes it takes a few connections before we find a date that's going to work. Once that date has been found, the next thing I look at, which is important to me, are their writers. People have a clue what those are, but there's hospitality writers, there's technical writers, there's backline writers for equipment. All of that goes into play when it comes into choosing an artist. They're real particular about their instruments and what they use.
Who all have you worked with so far?
Walter Beasley was my first show. One of my all-time favorite artists.
What was it like to work with Walter?
Walter is an amazingly wonderful man.
Ohio is the birthplace of many great musicians. So for me to be established and to come here and be able to play as often as I do, I'm totally humbled and I'm totally appreciative. So thank you very much. Give yourselves another round of applause.
We laugh. The girls and I laughed. It helped me now because, you know, Walter's not married. He doesn't have any kids. Walter says he has music. He doesn't need anything else.
I'm a school teacher. Anybody teach school or have kids, anything like that? Come on, clap your hands. Grandkids, nephews, nieces, all of them. One particular day, after dealing with teenagers for a long while, I had a song to finish from one of my albums. And I just was tired. I said, you know what, I need to take this stuff nice and easy. So I put this to a groove, and this is what happened.
But Walter is such a gentleman. He's such a gentleman. He's an educator. He's just he's a joy to be around. We're having conversations and you would think we've known each other forever. But, you know, he was imparting his words of wisdom. He's an educator by profession, and it's just inbred within him. So he always took an opportunity to give me little tidbits to help me stay in the business.
So when the ideal came in your head, okay, I got Walter Beasley.
Yeah.
I booked him. How'd you feel at that moment? Because you're a fan of his music.
Very much so.
So how did that feel? Did you have a hooray moment?
No, I did a happy dance. I said, Walter Beasley's really coming. He's really coming to the Mahoning Valley. He never ever been here. Didn't know this area existed. He's always gone to Cleveland. He's gone to Akron. when I said Niles, Warren, oh, he'd say, "Oh yeah, I've heard of Youngstown, but I've never performed there, never." He's been to Pittsburgh. You know, we're like that little forgotten area, the land of misfit fans, I call it, the land of misfit jazz fans. They always fly over us or drive around us.
Can you lead us into this next clip?
Talking to Walter, Walter puts a lot of time into his music. You know, and to me, I used to think, you know, having no talent, you know, instrumental music should be very easy to do, but it's not. It's actually harder to do because you are actually pulling a person's emotions based on really what they hear. When you say, "Oh, I feel the music, I hear, you know, I feel it," you really do have to feel their music. And if they're able to do that, they're phenomenal musicians with just playing, no words. The words can soothe you, it can calm you without saying a single word. It's amazing, it's fabulous. So here's a clip from Walter Beasley's show. If you missed it, you get a little bit of what we got.
Thank you. It's Derek on bass, y'all.
What's the first step that you take to pick your venue?
I love dinner shows. I just think that's the ultimate night out. You're going to want to eat anyway. Food
Right.
goes with jazz. Jazz goes with food. So it's a dinner show. The venues that I would normally use are banquet facilities in this area. Excellent food, fabulous service. Why not just get it all at one time? Instead of making 2 stops, you make 1. You get your meal, you relax, and then you go right into your entertainment.
So you provide a whole evening for your guests.
Because it's time for a night out.
Okay, so now it's time for a night out. How do you connect with, like, okay, you've booked the artist, you've got the venue. How do you connect with the artists before and after the show, and how do you nurture that relationship throughout that process?
I've had to make myself get into social media. Didn't like it, didn't want to be bothered.
You can't survive nowadays without
You can't-
social media.
If you don't have social media, you don't exist.
Right.
A lot of the artists tweet. I never saw the sense in tweeting. So I went to Twitter, set up my account, and I started following the artists that I eventually wanted to be able to book. Easy thing to do, very easy thing to do. So then I had to force myself to go back to that computer every day and to read what they were tweeting. What they were tweeting about, what was going on in their life, those kinds of things. So occasionally I would respond to one because, I think sometimes still someone's tweeting for them, but not true. They do spend a lot of time doing that.
Yeah, it's amazing how you can utilize the internet and get direct contact with musician,
Direct
actor,
contact.
whatever.
Direct contact with them. Tweet them if it's their birthday. I tweet them a happy birthday. If they make a comment, I make a short reply to that. So they notice that kind of a thing. And I had to learn that, the blue line is like a royal stamp on the forehead in tweeting. If you tweet someone back, they can mark it as a favorite, and that's this big blue line. So I tweet, and if I come back and there's a line, then I'm happy. So then I find out that when you're tweeting, people are watching and following you. And now I get an email that says this musician is now following me on Twitter. I use it to announce my events. I use it for everything. Updates for the events, new ticket locations, whatever is going on. That's what I use it for.
So social media is a big plus for promoting.
It's a necessity.
I don't recognize an artist on your website. How do I know I'm going to get my money's worth?
If I say Pieces of a Dream, everyone knows the group Pieces of a Dream. But if I say James Lloyd is our guest, they'll say, who's James Lloyd? James Lloyd is the keyboard player from Pieces of a Dream.
So a lot of times the band is recognized more so than the individual artist.
Exactly. If they started out as that band, that's how they remember that band.
How do you educate people on, like, this may be a huge band, but they don't know the drummer's name or the keyboard or the sax guy, they don't know his name, and then you invite this person. How do you educate the people to know that this is from this band?
You know what, all I can tell you is that when you look at the schedule, just know that it's going to be a good show.
Just trust in Virginia.
Trust that I'm not going to bring you anyone you won't want to hear. Then Google their names. If you Google their names, they have a website, and you're going to be able to sample some of their music from that site. And what happens is, as soon as people see the artist or read their bio and learn the groups that they performed with, then it all comes together.
So how do we find out more about VLH Productions?
You go to our website, which is VLHproductions.com. Follow us on Facebook. Like us, follow us on Twitter. And you'll find out about all the updates, all the artists are coming, the venues that we're going to be using, all those kinds of things. As soon as I book, I tweet.
You want to set us up for this video clip?
This is Walter Beasley from the November 7th show at McMenemy's, and I'm sure you're going to enjoy it.
Kevin on guitar, y'all. Ben on drums. Greg on piano. Doc on bass.
For past episodes and extended coverage, log on to dpvisualmedia.com. Would you like to appear as a guest on our show? Log on to dpvisualmedia.com.